So, your thoughts, is this better or worse than Survival Instinct?
I'm tempted to make a video comparing the two.
Yes.
That's a joke.
A really cruel joke.
Oh man, where to start with this? A brief rundown to this is that I was streaming the game and I had several issues with the game at first. The max FOV wasn't high enough for my personal preference as it currently only goes to 70. You can't rebind keys, you can't change sensitivity, or even mute your mic in game, which meant for peace that you couldn't actually play online until we figured out a workaround because everybody speaking in comms for some odd reason froze this game. And the first level just left me with a weird taste in my mouth. So pretty much through the entire stream I was just questioning the game, and after waiting for an hour for the game to be released because of a cock-up somewhere between Steam and Overkill, the beta got delayed, and I won't deny I was pretty salty when I was streaming it, and I was honestly debating a refund at the time and leaving it there. But this was similar to how I felt with the raid beta at first, but I decided to stick with it a little while longer like I did before, and ended up playing it until about 4 in the morning. And for the first beta I've gotten about 16 hours out of it, so yeah, I like Overkills The Walking Dead, which is a statement I'm surprised to say myself, but I didn't really expect anything from this game in the slightest. So low expectations, high satisfaction, I guess. Now I'm not saying it's perfect though, there are bits and pieces in this game which I don't actually like, but I'll address that over time. One thing before we continue though is that these are views going from what the beta currently provides, and these are not my final thoughts. I plan to have one more video regarding the beta and then a review out down the line. So currently in the first stage of the beta we're giving 2 levels to the game, both showing off the different types of levels you can expect from the main game. One being a holdout style level and then the other being a more objective based level, which was the level shown at E3 previously. When you first start the beta, however, you only have access to First Shot, which is the holdout level, and for a first level, this was a really bad choice, as it's rather boring. Like most games, the first time you play it, you'll be running around like a headless chicken trying to figure out what is exactly going on, but basically all you have to do is repair the 3 doors over 4 waves, and each time the 3 doors are fixed, the wave ends and you progress to the next one. The difficulty slightly increases with the final wave, having one gate which is a never-ending horde, which you would expect to be worrying, but again, if you're playing with another player, you can pretty much just board this door up in a matter of seconds, so the danger factor kind of just negates itself really quickly. And I'll be honest, these levels feel like the jewelry store of The Walking Dead. It's easy to grind, but you don't get many supplies for your camp, so you don't really get much in the long run. I think by the end of my time with this beta, me and Peace managed to rustle this level in about 6 minutes, but once you beat the level, you're able to progress onto the camp, which is your hub area. There's bits and pieces to do here, I guess. I expect in the main game there's going to be more to do, but so far it's just there to kind of take the next mission or quest to unlock the next level. And can I just say, the next level is far better than First Shot. Hell or High Water sees you infiltrating the enemy camp that tried fucking you over in First Shot, as while they were in the process of getting zombies into your camp, they managed to steal your water filter, so your objective here is to get it back and basically get revenge on the family. These levels are more for what I hope to see from the game. It's more of a linear style progression system with a team slowly moving from point A to point B, scavenging for supplies along the way. Throughout the level you'll find various objectives that you need to do to continue, the first being a rather tedious gate that needs to be powered up. There's 3 ways of doing this though, and it depends on the RNG of the level. One is a generator, another is a battery, and the third being an old style wind up Jenny. I don't mind these style of objectives, as compared to Payday you're actually moving about a bit and not waiting for a drill to, you know, jam over and over again. But when you've got to look for 6 pieces of equipment on your own, it can get a bit tiresome. However, what I do like is that the second time you see this kind of objective in the level, you can actually skip it. If you're good enough to stealth around the second camp, you can basically avoid a gunfight and slip right past. If you're detected though, the gate will immediately close and you'll have to fight them off quickly before they attract walkers. Which is where my first complaint for this game comes in. The enemy survivors are stupidly powerful compared to yourself, especially for normal. Their aim is ridiculously spot on, and pretty much everything they fire at you will hit you, and the snipers are just 10 times worse. They were already a bit annoying in Payday, but in this they're quiet, and you get like a little HUD icon to indicate they're firing, but you won't hear it and you don't normally see it. So you'll pretty much be running around in a gunfight, trying to find cover, and then you'll just randomly fall to the floor. Besides that little gripe though, I honestly think this level is really fun. For being only on the normal difficulties, you can't increase it during this beta, the game is really fucking hard. When playing these types of levels, you get very little ammo, and the entire time you gotta keep an eye on your sound meter at the top of the screen, because if that hits all 3, the game goes from being a challenging horde game to just an unfair nightmare. The horde never really stops and they will just swarm you and the enemy AI. pretty much causing you to die if you stand still. Especially when you get to the end of the level when you're trying to wait for the car to arrive. If you stand at the exit zone, that's going to be filled to the brim with zombies in about 5 minutes. Which is annoying at first because you don't really have anything to defend yourself with, but once you get some better equipment, I won't lie, this is a pretty cool mechanic. It makes the challenge of avoiding gunfights ever more satisfying when you actually get around it. And attempting this on a solo level, I managed to get all the way to the end with no horde, but the moment I went to the camp I got spotted and it went from 0 to 3 in a matter of minutes because it was just an absolute shit show, and I quite like it. It's quite amusing to see how bad it can get, and it kind of feels more like how The Walking Dead works, especially with some of the recent series. But besides that, that's the main parts of the game has to offer in this beta currently. You've got your leveling of the characters and the camp, but I'd rather leave those details for the next video or even the review, whenever that comes out, that is. You do have micromanagement outside of the missions, and it's alright. You can assign survivors to certain departments to gain little buffs like better equipment scavenging or something like better health, and it's all real basic stuff, which again I'll go into another time. But the other thing you can do is send them off for missions, and you can get stuff like supplies, weapons or attachments, and maybe more down the line. Funnily enough though, if I wanted to compare this to any other game, this micromanagement system is either like Metal Gear Solid, Peace Walker or Metal Gear Solid 5 or Fortnite, because this is actually a thing that Fortnite has in Save the World, and this is identical to that version. And I bet half of you forgot that that game is more than a battle royale. So pretty much that's all the main things out of the way, and overall for what it is, it's pretty good. It's a fun experience and the gunplay is really fun, and the melee is better than I expected, which was something when I first saw the gameplay trailer I wasn't very convinced on. If you wanted a rough idea of what to compare this game to, I'd say without a doubt this game feels inspired by games like No More Room in Hell, rather than what everybody is comparing it to, which is Left 4 Dead. The only similarity it really has with Left 4 Dead is that it's a 4-player co-op game with zombies. And that's it. If you're expecting a fast-paced zombie shooter, then Overkill's The Walking Dead isn't for you. It's based off The Walking Dead, which itself is very slow-paced. It does this for stuff like for the effects and for story progression. So I'm happy to see Overkill actually honour this and stick true to the universe, than just do a Payday and make a complete mess out of it. And I think this is one of the reasons why I like this game so much. I was just expecting this to be another Payday clone similar to how Raid is. And yeah, obviously there's going to be animation sets that have been reused, but the base gameplay itself is different, and I'm really glad to see that. Although there's definitely some parts of the animation that still need improving, mainly the third person department. The first person animations for the guns and melee are pretty much spot on to what I would want. Weapons feel like they actually have some weight to them, and the recoil is pretty good for certain weapons, and the double barrel shotgun is just heaven to use. The melee doesn't feel like trash, but I've seen various issues with the third person animation sets, so I think these take more priority, and this is with stuff like teammates and also the enemy AI, where sometimes the animation doesn't even play, so they kind of just slide across the floor, or if it can't catch up with their connection for some odd reason, it'll just ping back and forwards. And then there's some of them which just look really rough or janky, like you've got the animation setting set to low. Overall though, most of these issues I've had with the beta are just problems you'd expect from the beta, and thankfully they've already said that they're going to address this for the next beta, so this should be addressed by the time it's out. Which if that's the case, it means I can finally play a public match without having the fear of someone hearing me talking to myself or eating Doritos like a true gamer. Just one last thing, if you think I'm being too kind, next time we talk about the beta I'll be addressing my main concerns while going into the launch, as there's still 2 ways to go, so I don't want to just completely bomb it with negativity just yet. I will say though, for the game being roughly £46 in the UK, I don't agree with that price yet. I don't know how this game is going to end up at the moment, so I'll hold my horses before making a rant. And again, if you're curious on how the game plays, then just go play No More Room in Hell. It's like the same game, arguably better in some areas, and it's free. Or you could just wait for the sequel that's coming out on Unreal, which is apparently going to kill this game according to some people.
Walker there. Maya!
Hey, Grant!
Walker, stay
Grant.
quiet.
Grant!
Aiden! Hey,
Grant.
Aiden! Hey,
Grant.
Aiden!
Grant.
Aiden!
Hey,
Hey,
Grant.
Aiden! Hey,
Grant.
Aiden!
Grant!
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 Aiden!
Hey!
Hey, Grandpa.
Hey!
Oh, man.
We could use a power kit here.